What's good, Caleb here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about why I'm leaving Robinhood. Now, I've been using Robinhood on a daily basis for about the last year and a half now, but over the last 2 months, I've decided to liquidate everything in my account and pull all of my money out, and there's 3 main reasons why I decided to do this. So just to give some quick backstory here, I started this account in mid-July of 2020, primarily to dabble in individual stocks and to see if I could build a practice portfolio over time, and I started with just a few $100s and a couple of different companies, mostly Apple and Tesla, and over the next 6 months, I rode the slow and steady Tesla rally up until around January, when I sold all of my Tesla stock and decided to give stock trading a try. My goal here was to buy smaller portions of a broader selection of companies and see if I could manage consistent short-term profits to scale up my account. Among some of my selections, I threw some money at AMC since I found the stock to be a good deal after being smacked down by all the closures from the pandemic, and I also decided to buy some Dogecoin after seeing it get a little pop, but the price at this time was still well below the all-time highs. But the very next morning, I woke up and checked my account, and let's just say I had some hefty gains. Over the next week, my account balance had pretty much doubled in size, but since I was still a beginner with trading, I got greedy and didn't take any profits, expecting the rally to continue, and over the next month, I lost not only all my gains from AMC and Dogecoin, but most of my gains from Apple and Tesla as well. So then I decided to really educate myself on trading in different companies and stuff, and over the next 8 or 9 months, I poured money into this account, I diversified more, I took more strategic trades, and I really took things seriously. But after successfully gaining and losing 25% of my portfolio repeatedly throughout the year, I decided in October to start planning my exit on all of my trading positions, and within about a month I was able to get the last dollars out of this account while I was still in the green. After gaining a ton of experience and knowledge throughout the year, there's 3 main reasons why I decided to leave, but before I mention the cons I have about this platform, I just want to quickly mention some of the great things that initially kept me on this platform. Firstly, the primary perk that draws people to this app in the first place is the commission-free trading of stocks and cryptocurrency, and Robinhood of course was the pioneer with this feature and will always be a notable aspect of the platform. Another thing I enjoyed is that there's no account minimum, so getting started was very quick and easy, and going from the sign up screen to making your first stock purchase took no time at all, whereas with other apps and platforms, the sign up process can be much more extensive and complicated. Robinhood, in my opinion, also has a very streamlined interface, and the app itself is just very smooth to use. It has nice little animations for stuff, and it's super intuitive with its functionality. Robinhood is also a great way for beginners to get their toes wet with small amounts of money, and they seem to be making the traditionally boring concept of investing a little more fun and interesting for the average person. And lastly, Robinhood supports fractional shares. So when I signed up for Robinhood in the first place, I also signed up for Webull around the same time, and even though I use them both on basically a daily basis, I ended up gravitating more towards using Robinhood in the end for my actual purchases, and only using Webull for practicing with fake money and using all the indicators and chart tools, which brings me to the first and main reason that I'm leaving Robinhood. So the first reason I'm leaving is there's simply just not enough features for someone who's no longer a beginner anymore. So unlike Webull or other trading platforms, Robinhood has a very limited functionality when it comes to chart indicators and tools such as the moving average line or the RSI graph. And also, even though Robinhood has a bar chart option, it seems to be very unhelpful most of the time when it comes to chart analysis and specifically technical analysis. One big aspect of stock trading and picking your own companies to invest in long term is the ability to draw trend lines and map out certain levels of support and resistance on the graph and help identify price targets, entry prices, and when a stock becomes a good deal. Aside from the lack of chart features, Robinhood also has a very limited ability to categorize your stock positions and watch lists. Now sure, you can manually reorder things within the app, but there's no way to sort things by price or percentage gain or even alphabetically, which really became a huge inconvenience to me throughout the months when I was actively trading. And I actually had to end up using a notebook to help keep track of all these things, otherwise I would forget what my main focuses were for a particular week, and I would miss out on a lot of opportunities just because of this. On top of that, there's also no ability to create individual portfolios or separate certain groups of investments similar to what you can do on a platform like M1 Finance. To be honest, this is probably the biggest reason that really sealed the deal for me when I decided to liquidate everything in October, because I realized that creating separate portfolios would, 1, just make things a lot easier to see at a glance, and 2, it could also keep the crazy volatility from cryptocurrency from tainting my overall performance graph for my actual stock investments. I also just really wanted to start building multiple types of portfolios where I could just throw like $500 at one and have it automatically divide itself up according to the weight that I have each company set to within the portfolio. Robinhood doesn't offer anything remotely close to this, and overall, it doesn't really feel like Robinhood is really geared towards the healthier investing psychology of building diversified and well-balanced portfolios over the long term. And a few more key features I wish Robinhood had is the ability to purchase bonds, because as you get older and you want to decrease your investing risk, adding a higher percentage of bonds to your portfolios is a very common thing to do. So I think Robinhood could be deterring a lot of older customers simply for this one reason. Robinhood also has an incredibly limited range of cryptos to choose from, and even if you buy them, you don't actually own them. Robinhood owns your crypto on your behalf, and you actually have no access to it at all beyond just buying and selling. And I know Robinhood plans to release crypto wallets very soon, but I think Robinhood's pretty late to the party on this one, and the fact that you can't withdraw cryptos to another wallet outside of Robinhood is a huge hindrance for serious crypto investors. Now, the second reason I chose to leave Robinhood, and I kind of touched on this a bit earlier, but it doesn't seem like the platform is really geared towards longer-term investing and promoting healthy investing psychology. It doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot of educational resources for people on this platform, and especially for naive beginners, and there's a big element of gamification that makes this platform so addicting. So you end up with users having little to no experience with investing, dumping unhealthy amounts of money into a ton of random stock positions when they really have no idea what they're even doing, and they don't really understand the risk involved with blind investing like this. I think a lot of what drives people to Robinhood is the ease of use and the fact that it tries to make investing fun, but this can also cause a lot of unnecessary losses for people who don't research, and I think Robinhood should really try to educate beginners more on the benefits of investing long term, particularly into broad index funds, and also educating people more on risk management and like buy and hold strategies. I think Robinhood also attracts a lot of aspiring stock traders and people who want to try and gamble or make a quick buck, and not gonna lie, I definitely fell into this category for a while. On top of all this, I think Robinhood makes it way too easy to get into options contracts, which can absolutely destroy a person's life savings if they don't have a lot of education or economic knowledge in general. Plus, the whole IPO access thing has always bugged me, because every time a new IPO appears, it seems like they notify you in every way possible and advertise the crap out of it like there's a clearance sale going on, waving this new stock around like, hey, new company just added, come get some while you can, don't miss out, only a few days left, when in reality, beginner investors, in my opinion, really have no business being involved with IPOs. Now sure, you can make a lot of money trading IPOs, but it's very risky and it's a quick way to lose a giant chunk of your capital. The last education-related issue I have with Robinhood is the lack of tax awareness for users and no tax-protected accounts like a Roth IRA or another retirement-related account. I think this is a fundamental part of investing to be aware of, and just like with IPOs, I don't really think beginners have any business being involved in investing outside of a tax-protected account, at least until you have some experience and have maxed out something like a Roth, a 401k, or a traditional IRA. It's also really hard to see what kind of tax write-offs you could have from trading, and there's no way to see estimates of taxes you might owe at the end of the year, and I think this factor alone smacks a lot of people in the face during tax season when they've basically doubled their account value but then owe the majority of those gains to taxes. Overall, as a beginner-oriented platform, I think Robinhood has really just got it all backwards. A platform like this should be educating users about long-term serious investing with manageable risk, but instead it makes some of the riskiest investing strategies easily available to the demographic of people with the least amount of experience in the markets. In a lot of ways, Robinhood turns investing into a game, which then becomes more of a gambling thing, whereas actual investing, you should be doing extensive research into the companies, planning out your portfolios, and diversify consistently over a long time span like several decades. Now on to the final reason I'm leaving Robinhood, and I'm sure a lot of you know this one all too well, but the glitches, the lockouts, and the other legal issues this platform has faced. Now over the last year, we've seen a multitude of issues like this, like back in December of 2020 when the SEC charged Robinhood for misleading customers and found that orders were executed at inferior prices to other brokers, which deprived customers of a combined $34.1 million in profits, and of course Robinhood had to pay a $65 million fine for this. Then in that very same month, Commonwealth of Massachusetts accused Robinhood of attracting inexperienced investors and then using gamification techniques to manipulate customers, which we've already talked a lot about before. And then in January of 2021, we had the infamous GameStop rally, and I'm sure you all remember this one, but trading was halted a few times and it caused a ton of people to lose money or miss out on insane profits, and this caused massive controversy surrounding the reliability of Robinhood as a whole, and many people felt Robinhood was an unsafe platform strictly for this one instance and decided to move platforms shortly after. And then we got June 30th of 2021 when FINRA fined Robinhood for $57 million and required them to pay $12.6 million to thousands of customers who were harmed by false or misleading information regarding market volatility for March of 2020, and FINRA also discovered that thousands of accounts were approved for options trading even though they weren't eligible or were red flagged. And lastly, just a month ago, November November 8th of 2021, there was a security breach that revealed customers' emails, full names, and in some cases, dates of birth and zip codes. And of course, all the major outages that Robinhood has experienced, plus the trade restrictions of January 2021, all led to class action lawsuits. No bueno, Robinhood. Now, beyond just these legal issues and trade restrictions, there's also been numerous blackout periods where the app simply just doesn't work for half the day, and sometimes even the main graph glitches out and doesn't accurately reflect capital that's moved in or out of the account, which can kind of skew the chart a bit. Users have also complained about delayed stock quotes, where 3 other platforms will show one price, but then Robinhood shows something completely different. And then of course there's the whole payment for order flow issue we've all heard about a million times. Between all these things and the relatively limited customer service features, ignored emails, and long wait times, I decided to just take my investments elsewhere and begin a new strategy heading into 2022. Now, I know this video was full of complaints, but don't get me wrong, Robinhood has a lot of convenience to it, and I think that it's overall a really great tool for those who know how to use it and use it properly. But for me, the way I like to do things right now, Robinhood just doesn't cut it anymore. So I'm sorry, Robinhood, I'm gonna miss you. We've been through a lot, but it's time to say goodbye. Now you might be asking, what are my goals moving forward? Well, I really want to start building my own portfolios within a Roth account, so I'm planning on moving everything over to M1 Finance in the next couple months, and I'm super excited to share that journey with all of you. So if you want to see more investing related content, be sure to hit that big fat red subscribe button down below, and please tap that like button if you found value in today's video. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.